Let's say you're in the market for a Ford F-150 and you're having a hard time deciding between the V8 or the twin turbo V6, either hybrid, like my tester here, or the regular non-hybrid. Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you why the hybrid version is the better buy. That's right, shocking. This has more power and more torque than the Coyote V8. Listen, don't get me wrong, I love the V8 as well. The sound is insane, it's addictive. But this has more power, more torque. So this, in my opinion, I'm gonna show you guys and tell you guys why this is the better buy. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I do car reviews like this and a little bit of DIY stuff. And thank you guys for watching, for liking my videos. And before I continue, I wanna give a big thank you to Ford for allowing me to have this Ford F-150 hybrid in my home test area for me to test review for you guys. I'm gonna go over all the specs, the features, the horsepower numbers and torque. Stay tuned, that is coming up next. Okay, let's talk 2026 Ford F-150 hybrid. So my tester, like I said in the beginning of the video, this has the 3.5 twin turbo V6, made it to an electric motor, making a whopping 430 horsepower and 570 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 is rated between 5 seconds and 5.6, which is a lot more power and a lot faster than the Coyote V8. The Coyote V8 is rated for 400 horsepower and 410 pounds-feet of torque. So new for 2026, well, technically 25, Ford updated the face of the F-150. It gave it a mid-cycle, I guess, mid-cycle refresh. So up front, you see the headlights have been revised. You see on this side, you got the daytime running lights / parking light, high and low beam LED, and an LED turn signal, as you can see. Completely everything's LED in this car, even the interior lights. There's no incandescent bulb whatsoever. My tester is the Lariat trim, which is not the highest version. For that, you gotta go to the Platinum before you go to Raptor, which is the absolute batshit crazy version. Anyway, this has the black appearance package, excuse me, got tongue-tied there, which means that it replaces everything that's chrome with everything blacked out. So you got blacked out grille, emblem, the headlight housing is blacked out. Pretty much everything that would be chrome is blacked out, which looks very nice, especially with this beautiful red color. It looks very, very nice, and everything pops very nicely. And you have integrated parking sensors all over the front bumper and rear bumper. My tester being the Lariat, it has the 360 camera, which we'll go over in the interior section, which means it has a camera right underneath the Ford logo, one camera underneath each mirror. And let's go around this 2026 Ford F-150. It is a good looking truck. There's a reason why this thing is the best selling pickup truck in the country. People can't get enough of these things. They really can't. My tester is sitting on 20-inch wheels wrapped on Hankook Dynapro all-terrain tires. Good looking wheels. It does have the side steps. They're not motorized. Lariat badge on the side. You see everything is blacked out. Of course, integrated LED turn signals, and it has zone lighting, which means it has lights on the mirrors that turn on white at night. Underneath its mirrors, the bed lighting, and light in the rear. You got the PowerBoost badging on the side. And the F-150, there's a reason why this thing sells like hotcakes, because people love them. They can't get enough of them. And as you can see, I have the bed lighting, the lighting is on, so I have the lights on. You see the bed lighting, it's turned on. And the tail lights, you got the 4x4 badge here, because this one has the 4x4 system, of course. Everything in the tail light is LED, as you can see. LED tail light, brake light, LED turn signals, as you guys can see. LED reverse lights. And overall, it is a good looking rear end. And the bed is a 5.5 foot bed, even 6.5 foot bed. But this one has a nice little trick up its sleeves. You guys see in the middle section, you're probably wondering, why does it have a cutout, a squared cutout there? Well, we're gonna go over that in a little bit. But before we continue, you do have nicely dual exhaust with the cutout. parking sensors in the right and the rear. You do have the trailer controller and brake right here, which is nice. Nice little step. Hitch receiver. And there's that little light is part of the zone lighting, which I have it turned on right now. And you can get into the hatch two ways. Of course, you can open, and there is the engine turning on. It kind of sounds like a V8, which is a nice little burble. Here is your traditional Ford key. You have unlock, lock, remote start twice, and you open the hatch twice. So you press this guy twice, and it is power operated. And look at that. So you have, of course, this one, my tester has the optional sprayed in bed liner and the Pro Pilot on board, the built-in generator, so which we'll go over in a second. Ford actually even gives you a nice little ruler here. So if you're on that work site, you can start measuring your tools and stuff like that, so which is nice. This also has a little thing here. You can do a little vice grip if you need to cut things out. But let's close this guy, and I'll show you that little trick Pro tailgate thing in the middle, which you can open it by pressing this here. There's a little arrow right here, hard to see on camera, and it opens like so, which is super convenient if you have something long and weird awkward items, 2x4s, whatever the case may be. And I do like the fact that you can kind of place it in every angle and it won't slam, which is nice. So if you open it in a tight area, you can just completely do that, which is pretty cool. Now, getting in here, you do have this step that you have to really push down, like so. And climbing to the bed, you got, of course, cargo management and hooks all over the place, all over the bed here. My tester actually was supposed to have a bed liner, but for some reason it's missing it. And I think this is part of the bed liner right here. So someone, before I got my hands on it, removed it. It does have the little power sliding glass in the rear with defrost. And it also has a ginormous dual pane sunroof right there. And going over the power, the Pro Power system, which gives you 240 amp, which you could run your house and your work site, and you could turn on the generator right here, turn it on, and you do have 4 120 amp 20 amp outlets, household style outlets. Super convenient for your work site, super useful. And this little door, I think, is genius. This is a genius idea from Ford to include this. It is optional, it's not standard, you have to pay extra for it, but nonetheless, good option. And that little side step as well is also optional, which you can just kick it back in like so. And that is pretty much it. And let's take a look at the interior, the specs, the features of this 2026 Ford F-150 Lariat Hybrid. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the 2026 Ford F-150 Hybrid Lariat. So, in the interior, materials are decent, not too bad. This is soft padded right here. You do have rubberized material here, soft padded as well. You have injection molded stitching on here all over the side. Door handle is actually right here. And of course, power mirrors and door locks. My tester being the Lariat, it does have three settings for memory, which will remember the mirrors, the seat, and the head-up display height, because this one has the head-up display. My tester being the Lariat also has the B&O 18-speaker sound system, which sounds very good. You have massive cubbies everywhere. You can put whatever you need. And of course, being a pickup truck, this side step is actually very helpful, but you also do have a nice handy grab handle. The seats are nice, they're comfortable, they're big. You do have, full power seats, two-way lumbar support. They're heated and ventilated in the front, heated in the rear. If you get, I believe, the Platinum, maybe it has massaging seats. And before we go in the interior, you see that beautiful panoramic sunroof, which, let me see if I can reach over and open it. It is absolutely massive. As you guys can see, it's huge, and it makes the cabin very airy, and it lets in a lot of light. And also, you can, when you close it, of course, it's one touch open and close, and you do have a motorized shade, which you can press like so. And of course, you get privacy. It does have ambient lighting as well. So, but let me open that back up again, and let's step inside. And on the left side here of the driver's side, you have your controls for your lighting, your bed lighting, fuel release door right here, adjustable power pedals. So you press this guy here. For your shorter folks, you see the pedals are adjustable. Ford's been doing this for eons and eons. I remember these things in the Lincoln Town cars way back when. This button here activates the lights for the zone lighting for each mirror. Dimmer controls, super. This activates a parking brake. Nothing crazy. I like this little integrated American flag right there. Nice little touch right there. Because of course F-150s are built in America. All right, stepping in here, of course this is a pickup truck, true and true. So stepping height is very high. Ground clearance on this is about 9 inches off the ground. And interior, it is a very nice place to be. This has the Ford Sync 4 system. This is a 12-inch screen. It has wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. And you probably see that little blinking little thing there. Can't see that in person, but that's just a sensor, I guess, making sure you're paying attention to the road. And steering wheel is completely heated, leather wrapped, of course. On the left side, you have controls for combination controls for the cruise control and media on the bottom, volume up and down, voice command here. And on the right hand side, this controls a full pickup, track forward, backwards. That controls that screen here in the middle, which is a very nice infotainment gauge. So you can, of course, cycle through different things. You could do fuel economy. You can do trip 1, EV coach, which tells you how efficient you're driving. Trip 1, trip 2. Miles per gallon, of course, it's going to be a mixed bag because this is a giant truck. But I think if you drive this in a very efficient manner, getting 23 miles per gallon is not a pipe dream, is realistic, which is excellent for something this large. The gauges are customizable. You do have a coolant temperature gauge, oil temperature gauge, and pretty much everything, transmission, and of course a fuel gauge. It's rated for 650 miles on a full tank because of the hybrid system. And this has a very massive head-up display, and there it is, which is absolutely massive. And even if I put on my turn signals, it might be hard to pick up on camera, but you guys, yep, there it is. You guys can see the little blinking green arrow. Let me take my finger out of the way so I could focus. It's pretty cool, I gotta say. It's very, very large, so you can see pretty much everything. And of course, it will display turn-by-turn navigation up in that head-up display. Moving up to the down to the center, this of course has the optional Pro Trailer Assist. So when you hook up a trailer, you can, of course, tell it where to turn, and it will, of course, turn it the right way. Built-in trailer controller right here. Engine start-stop buttons right here. This is your mode selector, so you have multiple modes. So you have Eco, you have Tow Haul mode, you have normal mode, you have slippery for wet, icy snow roads, and then you have off-road mode. And of course, as you can see, it's shifting already in 4x4. And look at that, the gauges change. Very cool, very off-road focused gauges. So it tells you the pitch and yaw, sensors, what the steering was doing. You could, of course, it also locked the rear differential, and it put it in 4 high. Super cool to see that gauges. And it also shows you what the front wheels are doing. So when you're out there in the dunes and off-roading, you can see what's going on in the car. Super useful feature to see that. And once you put it back to, you can of course put it back to, you can even put it in eco mode. So for the most efficient driving. And then now as we're going back to too high, and there's the default screen when you're in default mode. And you even have sport mode. So for spirited driving, obviously it puts it in for automatic. The gauges, as you guys can see, also change, which will, of course, the steering will change. The steering could get a little bit stiffer. Shift points will be a little snappier, obviously, and the car will be in a sportier setting. But let me put it back to eco mode here. And being, of course, a ginormous pickup truck, you have cubbies everywhere. So this is where the wireless charging pad lives. You have USB-C, USB-A. You do have a very nice little cubby to cover everything up. I love the fact that there is physical controls for everything, for climate and media. So you have your dual zone climate control, you have your heated steering wheel control, heated seats, ventilation over here. Super unique feature, super cool. Dual zone, of course. You do have 120 amp power here. That's to turn on the inverter. There is a regular outlet right there, household style outlet for all your stuff. And this has a nice little center cubby here. I have my cell phone. I took my cell phone case, but you can put a cell phone and it will stay in place like there. You do have two giant cup holders. And let's see. And the shifter, if you're on the work site and you just want to hang out and use your laptop, Ford thought about you. Let me just spin it over and look at that. This whole thing turns into a table so you can have your laptop or eat your lunch or whatever the case may be. And very useful space here to do what you need to do. And then when you're done, you just simply press this button back up again and the shifter rises back to its default setting. Up here, of course, you have your HomeLink garage opener, your controls for the sunroof, the map lights, everything's LED, sunglass holder, of course, vanity mirrors, hello. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and the microphone's up here, speakers all over the ceiling. You do have a dual cubby system here. You got one up here and you have a traditional cubby in the bottom. And that's pretty much it in the front. Oh, let me just show you guys, of course, the backup camera, which, of course, it is standard in every single car. But this one being the Lariat does give you different views. It does have a 360 camera, so you can see, you can do the trailer cam. So everything is super useful. So there's no way you're gonna be able to, if you hit anything with this car, something's wrong with you. You should not be driving something this large. But there is a full screen mode, so you can pretty much see everything. And you hear the car beeping, of course, because I am in backup mode. But this one here gives you the full 360 and super cool. And then of course you can just watch different angles, which is super useful technology right there. So you can kind of see what's going on with the wheels and everything. Super cool, super useful tech on that part. And let me go back to park here. There is a manual mode on the shifter here. You got little buttons up and down. You can press manual mode here, which I don't know. I don't see any reason why anybody would use this in manual mode. I think it's silly. And then opening the center, it is massive. As you guys can see, you do have a coin tray that you can move out of the way. And you have dual USB-C ports back there for charging. And that's pretty much done up front. Let's take a quick step into the back seats and then we go for a quick drive. Oh, and before we go to the back seats, let me spin over the camera and show you that little side glass right there, which is motorized in this one. That's not standard. Obviously, it comes as part of being the Lariat package. Super cool, you little Little glass there you can open and close to get some air during those summer months. All right, let's step into the back seats and then we go for a quick drive. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step into the back seats of the Ford F-150 Hybrid Lariat. So back here, similar to the front. Materials are very similar. You got the rubberized pad material here with injection molded stitching. Power, of course, the windows, and they do go all the way down, which is a nice little feature in itself. Similar speaker grill as in the front, the B&O speaker grill. You have another little cubby here. You have a giant cubby spaces in the back. And being, of course, a pickup truck, it will not be complete without being able to do this and lift the seat bottom and being able to carry underneath things. And this is actually also collapsible, so you can actually disable this thing and make it a complete flat floor. And of course that side also lifts up, so you can have something long, weird and big on the back, and somebody can sit back there. And then to release it, you just push it back down, and that's pretty much it. Let's step inside. Nice little helper handle right here. And I am 5'8". The seat is adjusted to how I drive, and this thing is absolutely massive. I can even stretch out my legs. I can even cross my legs. And look at this, sit here like a baller with my legs crossed, which is crazy how big these full-size pickups are. You do have coat hangers there, so I have my coat hung right there. You guys can see what that looks like. And I love this panoramic sunroof. It's beautiful, it's nice. It lets a lot of air into the cabin, a lot of light, excuse me, and it looks great. There's a look at the infotainment and dashboard from the back seats. You do have back here 4 cup holders. So you have these 2 guys, and you have 1 in each door. You do have rear heated seats, two level heated seats here. Traditional cigarette style outlet right here in the back. Giant vents. And if you go a little lower, you do have more USB-C ports right here and 120 volt household style outlet right here to connect whatever you want. You do have back pockets behind each seat, and you do have a little bit of more cup holders in the middle here. So there is no fighting for cup holders back here. So this is why people use these things as family vehicles. And of course the windows, let me just fix the windows are tinted, of course. Back here, super nice. And if this shade, of course, is closed, you have more privacy. And that's pretty much it. Let me just spin the camera around so you guys can see the headroom situation. Like I said, I am 5'8" and I have plenty of headroom back here. And now it's time to take this 2026 Ford F-150 Hybrid for my first drive and final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2026 Ford F-150 Hybrid Lariat. Whew, I know, it's a lot of words. That just means that it's almost the most expensive version, but it has a couple of packages that you will find in the Platinum. And let's just put this guy, let's leave it in eco mode. And let me zero out the fuel economy here. Let's see what this thing can actually do in eco mode. Let's go for a drive. I personally am not used to driving vehicles this large, so for me it's a shell shock to the system, because I am not used to driving large vehicles like this. So I am very glad and happy that this thing has parking sensors all over the place, cameras, which makes it very easy for anyone to drive something this large. So I am going to drive it in a very efficient manner here and see what kind of fuel economy I actually get. Ford says it can do 23. I mean, I guess if you have a light foot, and of course in stop and go traffic, you probably can get what Ford says, which is a 23, maybe even 25, which again, something this big is excellent compared to the V8. Now, why would you pick this over the V8? Of course, the most important thing is the power. Like I said earlier, 430 horsepower and 570 pounds-feet of torque made it to that twin turbo V6. The electric motor between the 10-speed automatic, which is because it is a 10-speed automatic, by the way, 10-speed automatic and the engine. This is why I think this is the better buy. And, you know, yes, the V8 sounds excellent, of course. But this can do everything that the V8 can do. And more, because it's not only it's going to save you money on gas. And also, I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video, my tester is an eye-watering, the sticker for this is an eye-watering $79,000, which is crazy expensive. But if you have the money and you can write this vehicle off, hey, more power to you. Now let me get in here and do my usual highway loop, and of course the engine wakes up. And I gotta say that the engine note is pretty decent. It's not too bad. And if I turn on, let's say, the cruise control here and set it to the speed limit, which is 65, it actually does a pretty decent job, because it does have Blue Cruise standard. You get a subscription, it's subscription based, and it's doing a good job keeping me in the lane. Not too bad, you know, maintaining speed. And of course, if I want to change lanes, it will know what's in front of itself. So let's see, now it's making me look bad. Come on. Let's see, oh, there it goes. Okay, now it's engaged and I can completely be hands-free for a couple of minutes until it starts yelling at me to hold the steering wheel. And for a pickup truck, I gotta say this is very comfortable, even though it has the ginormous 20-inch wheels. But the tires, as you guys saw earlier, does have a lot of meat in it, which makes it very comfortable. Yes, you do have a very high commanding view of everything, which is why people, I guess, like these things, because you want to be high in the sky, so to speak. But overall, this has been great. This thing is great, obviously. Oh, and the gas tank. It does have a ginormous gas tank, which is 30-gallon tank, which is insane. For, you know, it's absolutely massive. So I can only imagine how much it will cost to fill this thing up all the way from zero to full tank. And the infotainment system is very decent. I mean, very snappy, using, of course, native Apple CarPlay. And if I use Apple CarPlay Android Auto, it is wireless. So you can use the native navigation system. Why would you? If you have a smartphone, you can, of course, set up CarPlay and Android Auto, and you'll be fine. But overall, this has been my quick, well, not quick, but full review of the 2026 Ford F-150 hybrid in Lariat trim. Let me pull in here real quick, and so I can end the video. And sometimes I gotta say that when I drive this thing in tight parking spots, again, it's easy to do because of the cameras and the sensors. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. And if you really enjoy this video, just make sure to leave a thumbs up and like, because it helps me out and it tells YouTube that you guys like what you saw. And of course, subscribe for more car reviews and in-depth reviews like this one. And I will see you all on the next one. Take care and stay safe.